Never fear, cindersh is here. And today I am here with my birthday special. And so for my birthday special, the topic is going to be how I came across and why I became interested in Dragon Ball Z and the Dragon Ball franchise in general. So before I get into that though, my birthday is the 27th and I turn a big 36. Yuck. I know, I'm one of the older guys. I'm like Geekdom. I'm an older guy. I got into it way back, but as a teenager. So probably, I guess, my junior and senior years, I stumbled across the early Ocean Dub episodes on Sunday mornings, waiting for everyone else in my family to get ready for church on Sunday mornings. And so that's where I was first introduced to Dragon Ball Z. I didn't really know anything about the show at the time, and I didn't go get on the internet. We had a computer by then, but I didn't spend my time bothering with looking up all sorts of stuff on the computer like that. I could have. I know I didn't. I didn't really get into it though. I was more interested in the sports, and so I spent most of my time outside. And I didn't research any of this stuff. I didn't know about finding a lot of this stuff on the computer until later, till I was in college. And by that time, I found Dragon Ball Z again on the Toonami block on Cartoon Network. And so for a while, I again had to deal with only being able to watch the first part of the Namek saga and the Saiyan saga. And then we finally got to move on to watch the rest of the Namek saga, and then eventually the androids and Cell Saga. I know I got to watch up to Cell Saga on Toonami at that time. I don't really remember if I got to watch the Buu Saga then or not. I think I watched the Buu Saga later on the computer. And it wasn't until about the time I got through the Cell Saga I went and backtracked into Dragon Ball and watched the Dragon Ball episodes off the computer. And then I went and, of course, purchased the Tien saga from Dragon Ball and the second part of the Piccolo Jr. stuff. And so I bought those. And then I came across a special Saiyan Saga Vegeta versus Goku disc where I think it's just 3 episodes, but it's of that fight specifically. So in terms of episodes, those are the only episodes I own, but I got those during that time. I did start buying a bunch of the movies. So I have the first movie with Garlic Jr. I have that one. I have The World's Strongest. I have The Tree of Might. I have up through the first Broly movie. I don't have the second Broly movie or anything past that for a few of them. And then I have scattered in there 1 or 2 others. And then I have more recent 2. And so I started collecting those. I've found the stuff on the computer. I could watch it. And so I watched the anime. And of course, during this time, I was watching other anime on the computer, so that I was watching the English on some of it. I was watching the Japanese with subtitles for some of it, for several different series. I would watch both. As I was starting to learn, there was a difference between the two sometimes, quite often. There weren't always big changes, but sometimes they could be different enough. And I was starting to learn that. And, I also started reading the manga of some stuff online. Some of it I started reading because I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And so I would occasionally buy the Shonen Jump mangas so I could get the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards out of them. And I would read chapters from Dragon Ball Z or Bleach or Naruto or Yu Yu Hakusho or whatever was in there. I'd read some of those. Since I had the manga, I'd read them. Even though I bought them really for the card, I wasn't going to just waste the manga itself. I read them. And then I went and read online to fill in what I hadn't been picking up there. But oddly enough, during that while I was finding the mangas, I didn't read the Dragon Ball manga. I didn't really get into the manga aspect of Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball, until after I started focusing my attention on my YouTube channel towards Dragon Ball and Kingdom Hearts and Doctor Who. It wasn't until not even a year ago now I started paying more attention to the manga because I was following Geekdom and Super Jaiyan and seeing how much emphasis they were putting on the manga. I figured I probably ought to go in and read and own the manga so that I could reference it in certain cases and become more knowledgeable about the differences between the manga and the anime. And so I started gathering some of that knowledge that way. But what really caught my attention about Dragon Ball, the reason I actually came to enjoy the series, is really very different from Super Jaiyan and from Geekdom, and because I actually fell in love with the English version of Goku, of the English version of the characters. That's what really initially sold me on the show. Yeah, I've gone and I've watched the Japanese with the subtitles, and I appreciate that version of the story. I do know about it. I understand it. So I've, as an older person, I understand the differences. But my initial love was for the characterization of Goku in Dragon Ball Z. That's what really caught my attention, sold me on the series initially. So Goku's speech against Frieza, I mean I ate that up. That's the type of show I watch, where you've got your hero who goes off to face villains. So the shows I watch currently on TV, I watch NCIS Los Angeles, NCIS New Orleans. I watch The Flash. I watch Supernatural. I watch Supergirl. I occasionally watch Arrow. I haven't been sold on Arrow the same way. I watch Elementary and Sherlock. I watch Doctor Who. I mean, they've all got a central character who is the hero, who fights evil, goes around trying to right wrongs. And that's the type of show I'm usually drawn to. And so I was drawn to the English version of Z. And I still, you can call it nostalgia, whatever, I favor that version of Goku. That doesn't mean I don't appreciate the Japanese version of Goku, but I still favor, because of the characterization, maybe it shouldn't have been done that way. I don't really think there's anything wrong with that characterization of Goku and the other characters. The reason being, because in America, we're not a Japanese audience. When you tell a story, you're supposed to alter it a little bit to better suit your audience. So there's nothing wrong with reading or watching a story that's been altered slightly, or hearing a story that's being told that's altered slightly to fit an American audience. There's nothing wrong with that really actually happening. Do you maybe lose something in translation? Yes. And is it a bad thing to find out what those are? No. I would encourage you to do that. But there's nothing wrong with being an American, preferring and enjoying the American dub. So that's basically my history and story in terms of how I came to watch and enjoy and why I enjoy Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Hope you've found this a little bit informative about me, where I come from on some of this, and my take on things when it comes to how I address certain topics in videos. I hope you will check out my other videos, and you can look in the future. Some other point, I will do a special where I talk about how I came to enjoy Kingdom Hearts. Another one, how I came to enjoy Doctor Who. But for this birthday special, I'm just doing the how I came to enjoy Dragon Ball. This is Super Saiyan 7 cindersh. I will be back with more content, so thank you for watching.